Okay, let's talk about this awesome walking foot JUKI sewing machine. I'm going to sew some pinch pleats at the top of a drapery panel, and I'm going to use this machine because it will keep the fabric from pushing and puckering, because the reason the walking foot is called a walking foot is because it utilizes 2 feet at the same time, which walk like human feet along the fabric and keep it from pushing and puckering like a normal sewing machine would do. So this little one fits inside the bigger foot.
That's the model number DNU 1541.
And it currently has a double welt foot setup. So I need to change from that setup to this setup. So I'm going to show you that first, and then we'll change the thread. So first we need to unscrew this screw right here and loosen it enough to release that foot. You can take it all the way out, but it's easier if you can leave it in a little bit to get the next one in. So that drops that one out. That's the double welt foot. Has 2 grooves on the bottom. Very cool. Before I put the other big part in, I'm going to release this little part. It's a different size than what I need here. So now there's another screw back behind right here that I need to loosen up. Again, I don't need to take it all the way off. That was just enough right there. And that one falls all the way out, and its screw stays with it. This one goes in first. This main part has a safety guide right here. So it's hard to get this middle one in if you install this one first. So you kind of have to do them at the same time. I'm going to lift up the shaft here with my knee and then work these in to place kind of at the same time. So the back one, the bigger foot of the 2 pair, goes through the shaft back here, and then the screw goes through to hold it in. So I've got it placed, and I'm just hand tightening that for now. And then the little one goes onto its own shaft straight up through the middle right here, and then it has a screw right behind it back here. So once that's pushed all the way up and kind of centered so it's straight, I can tighten that back screw. There we go. And then I'll tighten this other screw. There we go. And then they are ready to go. Now I'm going to change my thread from this khaki color to white. So I'm going to cut it off way up here because I don't want to unthread that machine. I want to tie off the new color and pull it through. So I'm going to put this up on the rack and tie it to the one I just cut off. So here's my knot right here. And then I'm going to take the thread at the needle and pull all of that through. There, rethreaded without the hassle of knowing which gears to go through. And then the bobbin thread is a little tricky. Most walking foots I've used are similar in the fact that you have to get the needle down into a position where it's almost going through the plate. So it's right touching the feed dogs. And then you can reach under and pull out the bobbin case. If the needle's in an up position, this bobbin case is locked in place and you can't pull it out. So now I can put in a new bobbin, but first I have to thread a white bobbin. So this one is going to go up here. I'm going to wind this bobbin right here. Oh, I forgot to raise the feet. I like to keep the feet in the up position so they're not riding along the feed dogs without fabric in between. Now I'm winding my bobbin. You can see the thread goes through this little tension device up to the spool that's on the rack. The bobbins are much bigger than a normal JUKI sewing machine straight stitch, so they last a lot longer between winding. Once this is full, it'll pop up and stop automatically. And then as I'm sewing, I can start another one. That way I don't have to stop sewing. I just didn't have a white one available here. There, popped. Now I can pull that off. Okay, I'm winding another bobbin here to see if this one will come off easily. The last one I had to pry off and it seems to have wound a little bit loose. So I'm doing another one. There we go. Hopefully this will come off easier. Yay! Okay, that one came off like it should. And now I'm going to put the bobbin into the bobbin case. So here's the bobbin case. And I like to put the bobbin in clockwise so that the thread is wound in this direction clockwise. And then there's a little gap that you would feed that thread through. And then wrap it around this hook right here. And then it's ready to put into the machine. And the only thing is you have to open this little door that you could hold on to. And we're going to place it where it needs to go underneath the machine. Usually I do this without opening this little hatch, but I'm going to open it so you can see what that looks like. And there's where the bobbin case gets stored down here. And it needs to go in this direction, just like this. So I have to go underneath the machine and then place it right into that slot right there. And it doesn't move around much. And if it did, then you would have a big problem. So push it all the way in and then thread your needle. Hold that thread and then turn your wheel by hand, one turn, and it should pull that bobbin thread up from the bottom right here. And then you can release that through. So there's your bobbin thread, and here's our top thread. And then the thread for the needle, I'm just going to feed that underneath before I start sewing. And I'm going to give it a test. This machine has a servo motor, so it's very quiet. The machine is on already, but you can't even hear that it's on. So I'm going to test the bobbin thread and the setting and see if I'm happy with the stitch length and the tension. Check the back stitch. And let's see how that looks. It's good on the front. It's good on the back. And the back stitch looks good too. Okay, ready to go?